Wisteria, it's Halloween-a-thon. Aren't you excited? She's like, wow. Bonk, bonk. This is the start of the Halloween-a-thon vlog. I am just watching some Sprants with Kelsey, and then I'm actually potentially joining. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I should be like, get out of here, loser. Get out of here. So I am doing Halloween-a-thon shenanigans today, and it's starting. And I thought for this vlog, I would, make sure I'm actually going to... Oh shit, where did I put the prompts? Oh yeah. I'm going to use the actual prompts to pick out my, things to read. Especially later in the month, I'm probably just going to read freehand. But I thought for the very first, week, I am going to roll a dice for the numbered prompt. So I'm going to kind of go until I reach 100, and then I'm going to go back to 1. So if I roll a 8 today and then I roll a 9 tomorrow, I'll actually go to 19 instead of, I just definitely told you the wrong math. Anyways, whatever the actual math was, I forget even what numbers I said, but I was like, what? And then I also am going to roll my alphabet dice. And this will help to prove what I'm going to do when I get to that prompt. And it's going to be something that either has to do with one of the letters in the alphabet or directly matches up with it. We will see. We will see. We will see. Let us do the Okay, so 16. 16 and G. Okay, so which one is 16? Oh, shit. Oh my god, that was perfect. It's 16 and G for Godzilla. So, Godzilla, read a translated book or watch a foreign film. All right, I gotta figure out what to do for that. We'll be back when I tell you what. Okay, so for 16 and G, I decided to listen to the audiobook for Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. And that is a book that was originally written in French and was translated to English. So I am going to make that my first audiobook of the month, and not the month, it's not October, whatever, bitch, whatever, and now this will be for my physical, so the next one will have to be my next physical read. Okay, so going only 4 down, boop, 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 a host rec, oh god, the host recs are here, and for A, what on earth did Cameron's host recs? This is, of course, Cameron, who is the host of Library Macabre, and I don't even remember what his things are. Cameron Cheney, I'm in the wrong one. Let us see the host. Meet the host, bitch. Meet the host, bitch. Well, there's Cameron, but what are their prompts, man? Bam. All right. The letter dice is gonna be hard. I guess there is the letter A in Red Harvest. I don't even know what are these books? Oh no, A for Anthony Rapino, Anthony J. Rapino. So there you go. Greetings from Moon Hill. How much is that book? Because I don't own it. Let me look before I commit. Oh, dog. Okay, Greeting from Moon Hill. Oh, that's an expensive thing. But, oh, shit. Oh, it's only like $3. Oh, I guess it's on sale. I mean, I could go and get... Oh, do I join Kindle Unlimited for the month? Or do I just buy the ebook? How long is this? It's like 300 pages. I'll make that decision on my own. But yeah, I'm gonna start up Greetings from Moon Hill. What is this cat? What is this cat? What is this? What is this? Play spray with catnip toys. Oh, that's just an ad. Nothing to do with Greetings from Moon Hill. Okay, looks like I'm going to Moon Hill, bitch. Oh shit, it fell down. Oh no, where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I got an 18 and a Z. Yeah, I don't really know. Um, so now I'm at 38, which is which is the activity prompt. Have some seasonal candy with a Z. I'm gonna skip that one and do. I'm gonna do a state. I'm just gonna skip that one because it's an activity. Yeah, I could. So instead, I'm gonna use Stay Puffed, a fluffy or cozy read/watch. Rewatching Evil Dead 2. It's a cozy favorite. So I was rolling to figure out what movie I'm gonna watch. So, hence, Evil Dead 2. Because it's a classic movie that I love to watch every few years, and it's got zombies, and it's short enough to fit in the hour and a half timeline that we have. So, classic. I was rolling that dice while I was on sprints, so that's why that was a weird clip that just happened. But yeah, so I'm gonna watch Evil Dead 2. Bobby Joe. Okay, so I finished sprints with Kelsey and Katrina and Kat and Kitty. They all showed up. It was a fun 11-hour sprint. The only thing I've read today is one short story from Greetings from Moon Hill. Actually, really liking it. I want to kind of savor that a little bit and leave that for now. And I'm going to roll my dice. I haven't been able to listen to any audiobooks because I'm recharging my headphones. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to roll for another physical book, and hopefully it's like a book that's like something I can achieve today, or at least it's like a longer book that can like kind of get me started for like books. Okay, so let's see. I got one short story collection on the go. I've got an audiobook to do. I can either do another movie, or if the prompt is better suited for a book, we will see. Okay, so 13 and W. Also gross. Loomis has been like there's like hair. Loomis has been just like being hairy. Anyways, okay, so 13. Okay, so that would be 50. Cause boop. So 50, which is to read and or watch a Lauren rec. What is Lauren's Rex? Let's see. Can't believe I did not expect to actually land on any of the Rex. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay. What is this? The Terror Sweetheart. I think that one's probably another book I would have to purchase. Casper. Okay. So it's not that I don't want any of these. I am actually going to listen to the Halloween Moon, but it's going to be later on. So I'll get to Lauren's Rex later on. But I did remember now that I actually originally was on 38. So I'm going to go to 51, which is boop. Oh, I put a spell on you. Now you're mine. Read a book / watch a movie that you own. Okay, starting with W. That will be the harder part of this, is trying to find a W thing. Okay, let's get to work. I'll tell you what I pick. Okay, so I think I'm actually going to pair this together. So I'm going to read this book called The Wolfman, which is one of the imprints by Dark Horse for the official Universal Monsters tie-in. So this is an official sequel to The Wolfman. And I think, as far as what I'm going to do as well, is I think I'm going to watch a werewolf movie first. So sit down, watch a werewolf movie, and then end with actually reading a bit of a werewolf novel. So, scoop-a-doop-a-loop, let's see how it goes. I lied. I'm gonna watch Wishmaster, but I'm still gonna read that werewolf book. But Wishmaster rules, so I'm doubling up on that prompt. Sue me. I'm in the mood. Whoa, DVD live? Wow.
To angels, and the earth gave birth to man, and the fire gave birth to the jinn, creatures condemned to dwell in the void.
Wishmaster fucking rules. I love this movie.
One who wakes a jinn.
Okay, so it is Monday night, and this is my first update because I've been in an awful mood all day. And it wasn't helped because I just finished this book, and it wasn't good. In fact, I would say it was pretty damn bad. The Wolfman kills one person in this book. One person. And he does it with a knife. What? So this is a sequel to the first Wolfman film, and it completely just kind of removes Frankenstein meets the Wolfman out of continuity because that one is like a direct sequel. And I thought that this book would end with that still being a possibility where he's like somehow back into the cave, but no, it didn't. This book is mainly a character piece about Lawrence Talbot, which isn't a bad idea. Like, this book is not written horribly. It is not a good book, but it is written like competently. It's a competently written book. I've liked other Michael Jan Friedman books before, but like this is like we find out the origins of the Wolfman curse, which was cool. Like, it started out where these Vikings were like raiding the Satanic Temple, and then like, you know, they got cursed by the person who was in charge of the Satanic Temple, and like that was cool. Like, that was the start of the book, and I was like, damn, that's cool. And that was the first werewolf, and I was like, damn, this book might actually be cool and like action packed. And then like it instantly throws you into like an action scene, and you're like, whoa, this book is gonna be like way action packed. And then that's about all the action in the book. We find out he was rescued from his tomb by a group who call themselves the Knights of the Wolf, and they are in charge of looking after wolfmen and making sure that they're okay. But they have an enemy called the Enclave, who you never learn a single fucking thing about. The Enclave, you never really understand what the fuck the Enclave is. You get this idea that it's like a cult that hates werewolves, but you don't know anything about the Enclave. But they're the antagonists for the most part. And he is like hanging out at this like elaborate estate, which again sounds kind of cool. And then, he is trying to like get in touch with his werewolf self and like relive the past. And like, there's a lot of stuff focused on like the character building. And I thought that was pretty good, but the problem is the reveal. There is a reveal about the church, the place that he's with, the Knights of the Wolf, and I was like, I knew the reveal like halfway through, and I was like, okay, and then they like really kind of be like, oh, we're not doing that reveal, and I was like, oh, okay, so what are we doing? And then like, nah, bitch, we're actually doing that reveal, and you're like, oh, okay. And like, you don't even get to experience him be the werewolf, which like I don't understand that choice. Like, because what happens is it's all from Lawrence Talbot's perspective. So like he's like, I go out into the woods and I suddenly change, and then I wake up the next morning with weird dreams about blood and shit. And I'm like, that's fine, but like, if I'm reading a book about the Wolfman, I don't, even if he's not murdering people, because he's like changes 3 times, and he's like supposed to be like being looked after by the Knights of the Wolf. So like he's like out in the forest just like being the Wolfman. But you'd be like, well, like, okay, like, if that's the thing, wait, can we experience the experience of being the wolf? And it's like, nah, bitch, you don't. He just kind of wakes up, and he has like very vague memories. So you're kind of like, oh, I remember eating this thing and nom, 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 nom. But you're like, I want to like, you'd want to see and read from the perspective of the Wolfman. Also, by the way, he definitely don't look like this because he strips down to his undies before he turns into a werewolf. And if you think about it, with the way the Wolfman works, is he probably still has his undies. So just like either a wolf man in his tidy whities or his boxer shorts, just roaming around, looking very dumb. Yeah, no, I hope the other Dark Horse Press Universal Monsters books are good. I can't believe they got the I don't know why they released this book, because it's not what anyone would have wanted. And like, even at the end, when you're like, okay, now is the time where the Wolfman is gonna go ham on all these people and get his revenge. It's like, even then, he only kills one dude with a knife. And then something happens to the rest of the people who he would have been fighting. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Why? Why? When there is more action in the end of Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, where Frankenstein and the Wolfman fight, which, by the way, in that movie happens for like about 2 minutes. And that is more Wolfman action than you get in this fucking book, I swear to God. I'm like, why? 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 So I'm gonna just roll the dice now. I'm gonna roll the dice. And hopefully I can end the night with something that doesn't suck. Okay, we've got a 17 and a G. G's aren't too bad. Let's see what we got. So we were on 51. So 17. That would be bloop, 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 68. Yeah, 68. So this is okay, that's an activity run. So we don't need to do the activity. I'm not going into a cemetery. 67. Read or watch a movie with black or white in the cover/poster. So I'm gonna go pick out a book with red and white, and hopefully it doesn't suck like The Wolfman. Talk to you later. Okay, here is something that almost guaranteed I will like, because I liked the other two versions of this book, which was In Search of Dracula and In Search of Frankenstein. This is In Search of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Raymond T. McNally and Radu Florescu. And this is all about Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and trying to talk about the origins of the story and how it impacted culture. And it's just, these were really, really good nonfiction books. So I'm really excited to read this one. And you might be like, this is black and white, obviously, with the cover. And you might be like, what could this be? Well, this is a gothic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a very famous gothic horror tale, and even the foreword is in memory of a great gothic scholar. So I was like, well, okay, this has gothic vibes and is all about the history of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And since I recently read that book and I loved it, I'm really excited to get into this. Hopefully it's better than fucking Wolfman killing people with a knife. God. Good night. Loomis, I'm trying to write a comment on freaking Kitty's video. You can't sit on the...
girl. I love this book so much.
He's obsessed.
I do plan on doing a reread
He's obsessed.
before Onyx Storm.
Hello. So, I just finished The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. And yeah, I liked it. It was pretty great. It's a strange book, I will say, because it tries to do like a lot of differing tones. There are a few angles of like storytelling, and like my favorite was like the more like omniscient narrator almost describing things in a more non-fiction-esque lens, like somebody who's doing an exploration of the so-called events at the opera. But I did quite enjoy it. I come from this weird place of like my favorite Phantom of the Opera is like pure Phantom of the Opera. My favorite probably Phantom of the anything is probably Phantom of the Paradise, which is just an amazing 70s movie that I love so much. But my favorite pure Phantom of the Opera is actually the Claude Rains Universal one, which is weird because that's the one that people don't like as much because, you know, the silent era one has the very iconic visual of Lon Chaney Sr. as the Phantom, and is like kind of like a beautiful, big, giant silent film. And that is the one people normally talk about from the black and white era as being their favorite, but I've always preferred, personally, the Cloud Rains version. But the book is so interesting because, like, most of it is what you know, kind of, because, you know, up to a point where it is the last act, it very much is like what you would think of when it comes to Phantom of the Opera stories, where it's like there's a ghost who's not really a ghost who's trying to help a singer reach her full potential, and it's kind of like working behind the scenes and like threatening certain people to make sure that the performance comes out how they want to, and doing nefarious things throughout the opera to ensure that their wishes are followed, including murders and stuff like that. That happens in the first 2/3 of the book, but the last third, when they finally go out and it's the final confrontation with Eric the Phantom, it's very different because there are characters that you don't see in like any adaptation. Which is there's a character called the Persian, which like again, it's not great. They don't give him a name, which is weird because he's like one of the major protagonists, and he is one of the people who has the plot going through. They literally read off some of his own like personal memoirs that like build the story, but like they never give the character a name. Other than that, though, he's not a racist caricature, or at least not that I immediately recognized. I will say, obviously, this is a book from 1900s France. There may be racist things that are not how racism works today that I just don't understand because they don't have the full context. So I'm not going to go out and be like, well, it's not racist. It wasn't obviously racist in its depictions to me. I would have to do a little bit more research to make that claim. But that character is like in no version of the plays. And I think for good reason. It kind of plays into Eric's backstory, which is very different in most adaptations, because in the original book he is like a torturer, and he is a guy who like lived as like a sideshow for a while, and he like builds these elaborate traps. He's basically like Jigsaw from the Saw movies, which I did not expect. Like they literally go into like a torture chamber room that they have to escape that has like all these like fancy mirrors, and he has all these like trap doors and stuff like that, and he's really kind of playing games with people where he's like, come on, give me the money, and they're like, he gets the money, but he gets it in the most creative way possible. But his backstory is that he was born with that, the disfigurement, and he ended up having to go through like side shows and stuff like that, and then he got a role in Persia working for like a sultan. There's like specific words that are used that I did not recognize, but it was interesting nonetheless that he was working for royalty in the Middle East, and he found out that after he creates these elaborate torture chambers and like entertains them for a while, eventually they get bored. And since he knows so much, they always want to kill him. So the Persian in this is somebody who helped him escape the last time that he was supposed to be murdered. And then he eventually comes to the opera and like he's working in the opera as like a labor man, and then makes his own little secret base and then hides out. But there's no thing that is the opening disfigurement. He's not like, so like in my opinion, I always thought it was like a guy who used to be like a fantastic piano teacher, and like had all of these like amazing musical skills, but he gets a disfigurement and then he goes into hiding after that because he can't face the world, kind of thing. And then he finds life back up with a new person who is like a woman who he falls in love with and is really devoted to their career, kind of thing. But that's not really what's going on. He falls in love with the woman and he's working towards her career, but he doesn't have the background in music and performance that I thought. So I just thought that was interesting. He is good at performing. So I don't know. He is good at it. He's good at most things. He's got a lot of skills. He's a skilled opera phantom. Okay, he's good at a lot of things. But anyways, it was not what I was expecting. I quite enjoyed it though. I thought that was like of some of the classic horror archetypes stuff that I've read. I would say I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And that kind of seems like to be like one of the the main takeaways is that like it's nothing amazing, but it is a fun, interesting, and well put together story. It does try to do a lot of different tones and different angles and stuff like that, but it is not a hard book to read, at least not the version I was reading. Like this is something that was translated from French. So I don't know if in the translation and as the years go by, the translation got a little bit more finessed, but there's not as much flowery big words that you have to like understand for reading a old timey book. Like it did not feel like it was an overly classical book from the 1900s. It was pretty easy to read and understand, other than there's like a lot of characters who have like viscounts and counts and blah 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 blah. But anyways, yeah, so I quite enjoyed that. So that was my audiobook. So it's time to roll. What will my audio be next? Or film, I will see. We'll see. Or activity, I guess. So that's 4. And you. Oh, God. Oh, jeebus. All right, so let's go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is not possible. So we could also just skip that because it's an activity prompt. But this one, which is Gremlins, read a novella / watch a movie under 2 hours long. So I'm actually going to do both. So I am going to do for my novella, I'm going to do, yeah. I just remembered the frickin' titles. I just remember that I had to do you. Okay, I'll figure that out and I'll get back to you. 1 second. Okay, so I lied about doing both. I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna use a movie. So I'm gonna watch The Unnameable from 1988. I've never heard of this movie before. That's probably like it's an 80s movie that I've never heard of before. That's going to be interesting. In the meantime, let's figure out what I'm going to do for my freaking actual next audiobook. You got to be kidding me. Okay, well, I got the U again, but 19. So that's 91. All right, so let's go down to... Oh, what the hell? What the hell? There's not. Oh, there's like... Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna number this. So 89, 90, 91. So read a book featuring clowns or carnivals that have the letter U. Oh God. Okay, we're actually gonna start again. Okay, so now I'm going to change this. I'm going to guess we just go back to the numbered prompts. We're not going to the replacement prompts. Okay, so 88, 89, 90, 91. Okay, so there you go. Oh, there you go. Read a nice Planet Barbarians book. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. There you go. I can do that. I'm on the 3rd one. I think I got that on... yeah, I can just get that onto Audible. So there you go. I'm doing that. Like, not right now, but tomorrow. Meow. Okay, so yeah, Barbarian Lover. And if you're wondering how to incorporate the you in this, well, I'm reading the synopsis right now. And she feels unworthy of his love. Bam, 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 bam. You for unworthy. Bam, 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 bam. I didn't really have a lot of choice for that, so I'm glad I was able to yada yada to something with a you. Bam, bam, bam. So yeah, I'm Barbarian Lovering it up. Bam, bam, bam. Watching The Unnameable, which is an H.P. Lovecraft film, and I don't know, I've never even heard of that short story. I've not heard this movie. I mean, it's got cool effects so far because this looks pretty cool. Oh, things are screaming. Ooh, I like me my screaming in movies. Oh, look at that dude. Whoa. Okay, we'll see what this is. Yo, look, check the maps in this movie. Check the map, goof. Okay, so I just finished The Unnameable. That was. I mean, I had a good time with it, but like that movie was basically like 90% of people just like walking through a house. But the house was like had like cool set design and was like creepily laid out. But it was mostly just people walking through a house, and I enjoyed it because like the acting is not great, but I loved all the sweaters, which is a weird thing to say, but the sweater game on point in this movie, and the monster design was really fun, and the some of the gore was pretty great. Like there was a few really fun kills, but yeah, a lot of it is just going through a freaking house and having okay to middling conversations with some pretty bad acting. But I had fun with it. It's like an 80s movie. I just love the 80s, the way 80s movies kind of look and feel, and had a great time with it. So I enjoyed it, even if it was not anything super special. I don't know if you need to go out and see it, but I don't know if you've seen every other 80s movie. I mean, you can do worse. I have also been reading, obviously not at the same time, but before this, I was reading a few more short stories from Greetings from Moon Hill, which I am very much enjoying. But I'm just kind of only reading a few stories a day, taking my time with it. I don't want to overdo the short stories. I want to enjoy my time in Moon Hill. So now I'm just going to do reading a little bit more of In Search of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then going to bed. So yeah, pretty, middling, good to middling day. I went for a walk, but didn't really find anything too crazy. And the money I'm waiting didn't arrive today. Hope it arrives tomorrow, but who the fuck knows. But other than that, had some good reading and enjoying what I'm doing. So I'm going to continue with this. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, so I just finished Barbarian Alien. Woo! Another hit from the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I actually quite enjoyed this one. This one might be my favorite of the ones that I've listened to so far. I guess just because like the romance feels a little bit more like natural in that there's no like humming of the Kui, which is a thing that happens in Ice Planet Barbarians. But if you've not read it, you're just like, what did that man just? What the hell is a Kui? Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's Ice Planet Barbarians things. And no, but it was a good romance, and had a sweet ending, and I just really enjoyed it. So those are pretty dependable, enjoyable reads. Also, what's enjoyable for me is that there's like legit no pop culture references. Pop culture references just take me out of books half the time. So this was just nice. It was just like by this time they've set up the world and they just live within it. And the girl does a lot of these cool, badass things, and like saves herself, which I thought was really cool and fun, and I just enjoyed it. So, had a good time with it. Now, what will my next audiobook be? Probably my final audiobook. Well, we'll see. We'll see, depending on what it is. And also, I have a movie I have to watch tonight, so hopefully I can fit this one in. If it's you again, I swear to fucking God. Okay, an S and 11. Okay, so that's for sure 14. Wheel of Doom. I'm literally doing a game. I'm not gonna roll and then do a spinner wheel. Ain't happening, bitch. Next one. I'm not gonna do the spinner wheel. I'm just gonna roll again. I'm rolling again. Because, like, neither of the options that are right near it are good, so I'm just gonna use that as a roll again. If I'm already doing a game, technically this is me doing the game. Oh my god, it was an activity prompt. Oh my god, no. I'm just gonna go. Oh no, it's an activity prompt. Read a book or watch a movie/show about grief with the thing of W. So I will use that for my next book choice, audiobook choice. Now just do a little thing to see if I can fit the movie I need to get in, or if I just gotta watch it on my own. Okay, R. Okay, and then 4. Watch the final installment in a once great Halloween franchise, or read a sequel. I'm actually going to go move down 1 and a 2, and I'm going to do watch a movie that combines genres, because the letter R goes for Raptor, and that is in the movie I have to watch, Claw, because I'm recording a podcast on it tomorrow. So that's just what I'm going to do. People are going to be like, well, you like cheating the game, whatever, bro. But I'm going to find myself a W-related thing about grief and, read a book about that. The audiobook will be a sad one, so, deal with it. Deal with it. And in the interest of not cheating, for the book about grief, I'm going to listen to Wuthering Heights. That's right, bitch. Going classic. Going classy. Classy classic. And then I'm going to watch Raptor Claws for that. So yeah, boop-a-da-boop-a-da-boop. I kind of feel like watching 2 movies tonight, though, so we're going to roll again. A T and 19. So that is 46, 46, 46. Okay, that is lame. Not lame as in, I should have made it so that I removed all these activity prompts, but that's fine. Well, that one's a reading only prompt. Okay, so now what I'm going to do on those is reroll. If I land on an activity prompt, it's a reroll. That's a new thing that I'm doing near the end of this vlog. Whatever, bitch. Leave me alone. 18 and an H. So 18 for H. Read or watch. Well, I'm going to watch an occult movie as well. So which one is that going to be? What's a sad movie? What's a sad movie about the occult? I will have to find out, and I'll tell you. So, talk to you guys later. Watching House of the Long Shadows. Oh my god, Peter Cushing. Older Peter Cushing. And elderly Vincent Price. This movie is stacked.
Held sway here.
History
Oh, it's freaking Christopher Lee now.
Particularly
Look at
the
this.
fact that I intend to
This is
tear
amazing.
house down and sell off the land from
Peter Cushing.
Tear it down?
No.
Father.
All things pass. Death is our only true destiny. Our heritage died long ago.
What a fall. All the way down the stairs. Wonderful. But then you always were good at falling from a great height.
Can't compare, my dear Geoffrey, with your famous death scenes, which you've played so brilliantly and for so many years, bitch.
That was a weird movie, because especially the ending where it's has a whole bunch of endings, but it was it was still charming. I don't know, I had a good time with it. The ending is kind of like, huh? There was no occult elements to it, but it is a very interesting movie, and I was glad because you got a lot actually with those core cast of characters. I've had other movies that are like, we got Vincent Price, and we've got Peter Cushing, and like trying to sell it on that. And then you watch the movies, and they're only in there for like 5 minutes. But here they're in there for like most of the movie, and they're all doing pretty fun and good performances. So, yeah, this was a fun little surprise. It's nothing crazy amazing, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
Hello?
Watching Claw this morning.
Hi, our car just...
Watching The Beast Must Die,
Visual contact.
which I remember loving. Oh, where are you going? You were just in the perfect spot. Oh, whatever. They were just hanging out on the crows, hanging out on the freaking graves. It's like, whoa, God's hell. Oh, there's one. Flying through the air. Hello, crows. Goodbye, crows. Paying my respect to Richard Lehman. Watching some Halloween-a-thon crafting night while
crochet.
making things.
I wish I could crochet.
Bleh.
I did diamond painting.
They're all crafting too.
Some crates.
Look at them. They're all hanging out while we craft.
Large ones.
Okay, so this is a Friday night update. So I did just finish In Search of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This was really good. I quite enjoy Raymond T. McNally and Radu R. Florescu. I think they're really good at researching. There's always some really interesting stuff that you learn in their books. Now, I don't always, agree with some of the takeaways, how they, interpret certain evidence, right? So I just think they do present the evidence and then they offer their interpretation. I don't always agree with how they interpret the evidence, but I do enjoy it and really enjoy reading and learning. They're very extensive researchers though, so there are some, especially near the end, there's some pretty heavy here is all this information, and you're like, okay. Some of this is interesting, some of this is just word salad because you're putting in every specific part that's interesting. It's interesting because I think In Search of Dracula is probably their biggest one in terms of being culturally important. In Search of Dracula was a big hit in the 70s and really did have an impact on Dracula studies. In Search of Frankenstein, which is I think it's it's either Radu or it's only one of them. Only one of them did In Search of Frankenstein. I really enjoyed In Search of Frankenstein. It is a book where I don't agree with all of their findings and I don't agree with all the things that they it's only one of them. I say they, but it's only one of them that is interpreted in that book. But the story that's collated and the way that they tell it is great. They do a great job of laying out how it was made. And this book is really good for talking about Robert Louis Stevenson's life, the historical character, because I had never heard of this. There's a character called Deacon Brodie, who is this guy who was in the 1800s, and he was a big inspiration, a pretty direct William Deacon Brodie. He was this notorious guy in Edinburgh, and he had a big impact on the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and it is very, very evident. Literally, Robert Louis Stevenson wrote a play about this guy. He grew up fascinated about this guy. So he was this kind of well-to-do, high-end businessman in the upper class of Edinburgh, and he would go out and he would do a bunch of crimes and like hang out in like all these like more unsavory parts of town, and he would live this like outwardly respectable life, but he would have the like, he would go into all these dens of vices and sin, and he used to like be a head of like this criminal gang, and he got caught and he got hanged, and that was a big inspiration for the story of Jekyll and Hyde. And I was like, I had never heard of this character in history. He's not like, by I say character in that he's an interesting person. It's a nonfiction story. Like, that's a real person who existed. And I had no idea. Never heard of that person, and I had no idea that was such a big influence on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I also didn't really know much about Robert Louis Stevenson's life. He had a really, really interesting life. I do think there's some judgment calls that they make that this is where I disagree with some of their interpretations, but they really do lay out his life quite well. They are a little bit glib on certain elements of his life where I'm just like, well, you can't really know how he felt about that, but okay. They have their own opinions and views, but I really enjoyed this one. I thought this was well worth it. If you find this and you're interested in, history of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it's worth it. It's worth it. Robert Louis Stevenson is an interesting fella, and I want to read more of his books. So I did actually finally read this book this year, and I actually really think that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde still holds up today. Like, it's one of those classics that I think is still well worth investigating. So I had a great time with this. I have been listening to, I'm sorry guys, I was like, I'm gonna do Wuthering Heights, and then I was like, no, I'm not. Like, the next day I was like, no, I'm not. So I did a Warhammer book instead, which is called Death Worlder, and that by Victoria Hayward, and I'm loving that book so far. And I only have about 2 hours left in that. I was listening to that while I was kind of wandering around, and it is relevant to the prompt about a book about grief and about loss, because it's basically like this legion of fighters who are on a world that is going to die, and they are the people who might actually live and survive while the rest of the world is going to die, because they have this important mission that they have to go and find this item that could be extremely useful to the rest of the Imperium, but the entire planet is being just ravaged by the Tyranids, which are like basically like aliens and xenomorphs. So it's just really odd and interesting. So I quite am enjoying this one, and am enjoying that book quite a bit. But I'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. I'm hoping to get Greetings from Moon Hill done. I have about 6 hours left of that. I maybe read a story or two of that today, but I don't know. Well, tonight, but we'll see. I have like sprints with Kelsey, and those are probably going to be unhinged tomorrow. So I might not finish this one. I might have to move this over to another vlog, but if I do, that's okay. I'm really liking this. It's just, if anything, not completing a short story collection is fine. Anyways, I hope you guys having a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Okay, so I did just finish Death Worlder, and I think that's where I'm going to end the vlog. I will be continuing on Greetings from Moon Hill, coming into the next week. I just don't feel like cramming it all and trying to be like, oh, gotta get this done. Death Worlder was great, fantastic. A really good starting part for 40K, I think. Because you get enough of the world that you can understand what's going on, but it's not bogged down in world building, and it's very much focused on characters. And yeah, no, I thought that was a really great book. And even though I was like, Wuthering Heights, bitch, it was all about loss and, what it means to survive when the world is dying. And, I thought it was quite good. So yes, that was fun. Next week, I'm just going to be relaxing. In terms of no games, just vibes for the first week of October, because I go on vacation at the end of that week. So I will talk to you guys then. I hope you guys had a good time, and definitely check out Halloween-a-thon, because it's Hallow-Rock-a-thon. Toodaloo!